All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps with old Johnny here from Casino Gaming TV, actually from Pro Craps on Casino Gaming TV. And we got a big show today. I see Victor is already all over the chats, which is great. I was trying to write to him before the show, but this is not about your come out play. This, by the way, what I'm doing today is not about the come out horn hop action that you are wanting me to talk about. It's not that. I'm talking about working your place bets and your come bets on the come out roll. That's gonna be the primary focus today. The other stuff we can work in there, and I can add some bets to things as you go. But and I may do that. We may have some time in the show to get to that. But it's a WinCraps based show this morning for the large part. But I will roll some dice out for us too. But I don't want to distract the whole thing with talking about the props and hops. This is all about just getting your main bets working or not. It's a big topic, right? So I want to make sure we have time to cover it. And I want to show you the way that I look at things. And yeah, so with that said, let's hop on in. Let's hop on in and give you what's going to happen today. So first things first, we're going to talk a little bit about the mind and what I did with the ER study, which was kind of flail around. And we'll talk about what happened, why it happened, and how I'm going to fix that today and the rest of the week. This week is going to basically be a mulligan week, and I'll explain why that's going to be in a minute. Also, when I do the daily paycheck review, I'm going to talk about the roll history and my plans for the roll history with the daily paycheck. There's a dual topic in there that I think we're gonna get to, and then of course we're going to talk about working the come out rolls. And I want to give you some examples with live dice. The best examples I can give you with live dice about what it looks like to work the come out roll on place bets, work the come out roll on your come bets with your odds. Do you work the odds or not work the odds on the come out rolls? It's an interesting topic, and I think place bets and come bets have got a different rhythm to them that I think you'll see here in a minute when I get the dice are rolling. So here we go. The last thing I want to talk about before we get really going is, well, two things. One is our schedule tonight. Don't forget that tonight, Beat All Bay is at 4 o'clock Pacific, and Mac is on with his tourney at 8 o'clock Pacific. But I want to address the burnout question before I even start talking about actual dice, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. If you haven't watched, well, I'm going to have to spoil it. If you haven't watched Ed Robinson's series on the Tales from the Table, where he's bringing back a lot of these guys that sort of, how do I say it? I don't want to say famous is the wrong word, but they're part of Craps lore, part of Craps legend. These guys that have been playing for a long time. They were big in the Craps forums, back in the news group and forum days on the internet before we had YouTube and stuff. They were big players, not money wise, but like big players in the world of Craps. And he's brought them all back, and he's talking to them, and they're great shows. You got to watch it. I think Dosa was what he just did. I think he said that was the last interview that he's got filmed. He hinted at maybe doing one or two more, but I think that was kind of the last one. But Ed also talked about the idea of him being burned out of doing YouTube videos. And I know that Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps has talked about being burned out before. I know Jacob from Wage Me This has said he's burned out at some points in time. Greg from 555 got a bit burned out. It's easy to get burned out. I can tell you that right now. I do this every day. I do this show every day. We talk for an hour about something I think pretty deep in Craps. And you know, some of the topics we do get heated. Some of them are more light and goofy. Most of the time I try and teach something. And it's easy to get burned out. It's hard to plan a show like this every day when I have a full-time job, and Ed's got a full-time job, and all the guys have full-time jobs. It's very hard to do this every single day and find interesting things to talk about and feel like you're relevant. It's really hard to feel relevant. And I think what Ed said was, man, I don't know what else I can say. Like, I've done all I can do. I've said all I got to say. Watch the hundreds or I think he did 500 and some videos. Watch them all and see what I got to say. I'm in the same boat. I can tell you that right now. Yours burnout is real. I've done on just Coffee and Craps, 700 shows, over 700 shows. On the Pro Craps channel, I've got about 400 videos. Here, I've got another few hundred videos I've done. I'm well over 1,000 videos now. What else can I say about this game? Well, a lot. And I think for me, the way I get content for the show, and the things I find to talk about are you all. And what I have to remember is that although I can go crank it to 11, if you've seen the movie Spinal Tap, you know what I'm talking about. If I crank it to 11 every single day, My dogs are being a pain in the ass, by the way. If I crack it to 11 every day, I'm going to blow people's minds, right? It's going to be too much, too heavy. And I got to remember there are people, and I'm looking here at Unseen, who is a newer, not a newer craps or newer gambler, but a newer craps player. I think Unseen, if I remember your texts the other day, you've played blackjack and poker a lot, new to the game of craps. I got to remember, and I think we all have to remember, in these shows, we've got now, for an example, right now, I've got 35 people watching right now. We'll get to about 50 by the time the show is over, live watching. I'm not doing the show just for the 50 of you that are going to be here today. This show gets rewatched by a lot of people, and Unseen is one of them who's brand new and is looking at some of the old shows. Baccarat, oh, I love Baccarat. Looking at some of the old shows and kind of spinning up, right? So I got to remember that every show, there's somebody brand new to the game watching. So to me, there's never going to be no content because I can always go back and talk street craps. We can go back and do street dice and break the game down to that level, and somebody would get something out of it. That's what I have to remember. And as much as I feel the burnout, and you may feel like, oh God, John's talking about the same stuff again, there's always somebody who hasn't heard it yet that we're doing this for. And it's hard for a new person to dig into video number 432 of my series and find the one that talks about how to play, right? So that's why I think the rinse and repeat cycle is important to me. And I think for me, digging deep and finding reasons to do this, it's driven by y'all. I got a text message here. I'm not going to show you the message itself, but I got one this morning from Duracell. He asked me a great question, which is one of our bullet points here today, actually. As I get text messages and emails and Discord notifications and stuff like that from you all, that drives what happens here. So if you have questions, you can always email me, john@procraps.net. You can always Discord me. You can always chat in here with a PC in front of it. And I can make a full show out of one question, which this week is it. Today's a full show about, working the come out or not. Tomorrow's a full show about what does the house edge really mean? Like, what does it mean to me? Not how does it calculate, but what does it mean to my life, right? When those questions get asked, that's what drives these things. So yeah, I'm mentally burnt most of the time. I'm like, what am I going to do? How am I going to get through another hour show? Right? It's the questions. It's the remembering that we have new people here. So that's the reason why I do the show. So, yeah, I told John I have an AI redo my show. I should do that at some point. The AI is getting even better. Now you can give AIs your face and they can make a cartoon. It's a cartoon you, but it looks like 90% you, but you can tell it's a cartoon with your voice speaking in all languages. And I will at some point, what I really plan to do, and I'll be honest with you, I plan to at some point go to the ProCraps channel and just delete every video I've got and refilm the whole thing. I'm in the middle of figuring out if I want to write a book or not. And in writing a book, you look at like, hey, what would I do if I wrote like a beginner's book, an intermediate book, and an advanced book? What would the chapters be? Every chapter to me could be a video, and I could wipe that whole channel clean, do all new videos, and refilm it in a sequential way where it makes sense. I've thought about doing that many times because the stuff I got up there now is so old. It's relevant, but it's like, it's hard to find. YouTube's not good at letting you find stuff. It's good at searching, but it's not good at organization. That's where I think it's lacking. It lacks big time in that way. Yeah, I should do some reviews I was going to do book reviews a while back, but it takes so long to read a freaking book. I remember I work 8 hours a day too. It's hard to read a book and go back and do a proper review of it. One a month maybe is all I could really do, but I would love to do some of that. So, yeah, you're looking for a massive advantage to play this game. You're in the wrong place, pal. Hold on a second. Get out of here. Go out there and play. There is no such thing as an advantage in craps. Everything's working against you. Like all the casino games. Everything works against you in this game. Unfortunately, it's the way it is. You'll see tomorrow when we talk about the house edge on these bets. Every bet is designed to lose you some money. They're designed to lose physically, like you're supposed to lose your place bets. Even when you win, you don't win enough. And that's like the nature of this game. Unless you could throw the dice perfectly every time and know what you were going to throw, there's no advantage. And even the best dice throwers in the world will have short rolls and random results. I think when you push the needle in dice control, we'll talk about this at some future date. When you push the needle in dice control, let's say you have the SRR instead of 6, which is you're right on random. Random throws a 7 every 6 rolls. If you're at SRR of 6.5 or 6.6, so you're 10% over random, what does that mean? That means that out of 100 throws, 10 of them were throws you intended to throw. The numbers, 90 of them were horrible or bullshit or random. That's what that really means. It means that out of 100 rolls, 10% of them were spot on, better than random. The other 90%, were random. Even the best dice throwers know that, because you can't be perfect, and the pyramids randomize you. So the advantage is knowing that you have the ability to maybe get some of that done and having more money in certain spots. And when you catch a pocket, knowing how to bet it. Your advantage in this game is knowing how to bet the variant that appears in front of you. That's the advantage. Other than that, there's no equivalent to card counting. There's nothing you can do in this game that shifts the edge to your favor. It's a lot of luck, and it's a lot of betting properly in certain moments, or setting your bets up to win in certain moments. So there it is. There's my talk on the grind. Ed, we're going to miss you. I told him, I wrote him a text. We're going to miss Ed like crazy, because Ed was a force, right? You know Ed. He's a force in this community. He's got a loud voice, and I don't mean like physically loud. I mean like it carries weight, And I know he and I bantered back and forth. We kibitz, and we kind of snipe one another on the shows. But honestly, we're really good friends, and I think I told him, I said, I cherish our friendship, and I'm going to miss you live on YouTube. But YouTube does not define the relationship, right? And I think we're all going to miss him for different reasons, and that's mine. So, yeah. So there it is. Let's just roll on and get into quickly Craps for the Cure. Remember, crapsforthecure.com. If you're going to come, you register for both days, Saturday and Sunday, $50 a day to be in the building. That's the cost of the shirts and the tchotchkes, the cups, and the stuff that we're buying. The logos are finalized now. You saw them the other day. I made a slight change, and the dog is now part of the logo for Craps for the Cure. So this dog that's down here on the right-hand side, he's part of the official logo now. So it's the crossed rifles with the helmet, and it says Craps for the Cure 2023 in the middle there, and the dog is in the bottom. So that's it says PTSD around the dog. It's pretty cool. I'll show them to you tomorrow. You'll like them. I'm getting like chips made that look like challenge coins. So this will be on one side of the chip, this dog over here, or their Better Moving Forward logo on one side, our logo on the back side. So it'll be a really cool collector's chip. And when you come to the event, of course, you'll get to have a chip. So that's part of the advantage of coming. So if you can be there, please be there. It's going to be fantastic. I got confirmation yesterday that Chuck from Crapsy will be there. He can answer, and again, he'll probably do a lot of interviewing with us. He'll answer all of the Crapsy questions you got. He might talk a little bit about version 2, which is fantastic. And he's for sure going to help us monitor, because we're going to run the entire day from open to close on both days. We're going to run Crapsy live with every roll that we do. Now, we're not going to be on the tables all 24 hours. But whenever we have table sessions, Crapsy will be running. So your bets will be active all day long. And the winner of the full day will get something in the end. So there'll be some kind of a prize given to the winner of the day-long Crapsy. He's going to be with his team monitor, because I expect we'll have 300 or 400 people playing at the same time in that Crapsy table. So it's going to be a huge, huge table. So the leaderboard's going to be a thing. But yeah, Chuck's coming. Bo Parker's coming. I'm working on Michael Shackelford's time slot. He's going to come for sure. Garrison's going to be there for sure. Working on Tony Leo. I know Brian from Holy Roller, who was our current hard hat winner. He'll be there as well. I'm going to make him talk a little bit about cruising and comping on cruises. I will do a lecture on, I'm doing one this week actually on comps, but I'll do another lecture on comps while we're there at the Craps for the Cure. David's going to teach us how to deal. All sorts of things planned for sure. So there's that. No rebuys on that table, probably. That's going to be an entry fee table. So we may do a thing, Jen. I got to talk to Chuck about how it's going to work, but it may be a thing where if you're going to play on the all-day table, it's $100 to quote-unquote buy in for 5,000 or something like that. A rebuy would cost you another $100 donation to get back more rebuy money, something along those lines. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. If you want to keep playing, you can keep rebuying in on that table all day long, but it's going to cost you. Remember, we're raising money for charity, so it's going to cost you money to rebuy. And we'll have to figure out the mechanism to make it happen. I don't know how it's going to work yet, because with 500 people, it could be a pain in the ass to know who's rebuying. So that's why I need Chuck there, and probably somebody to monitor that too, so we know who bought in and I got to make a thing for it. It's a lot of work to get that done. That's why Chuck is going to be there, help us through it. But that's going to be really cool. I think having a day-long craps is going to be fantastic. All right. With that said, let's move ahead. Quick recap of daily paycheck the mind yesterday. I'm calling it a mulligan. I called it a mulligan during the day. I'm like, we're not doing this. This is I played it too much, right? $2,000 bankroll, $25 minimum bets, right? So I did $100 on the inside or on the outside. Every time we didn't win, up another 100, up another 100. It was the bankroll got destroyed, and it came back, roaring back, but way too big of bets, way too big of bets for the bankroll we had. If I would have won money, now one of those hands when I was down $1,100 or whatever, I was down 900, and I won 1,000 in one hand. Right? We had a good little roll, boom, popped the grand out, which is great, got us to a little bit of profit. That almost felt unfair too. It's like, okay, the bets are too big for this bankroll, so the chances were I could have had 6 rolls and made $400 in the very beginning, which is nice, but it's unfair that those bets are too high for that bankroll. You'd never play it at that level. You never would. So it would have been an unfair win had I won the $1,000 out of the gate. It's an unfair loss to have burned $2,000 out of the gate too. So I think the bet levels were totally wrong. Today we're going to try 2 changes to it. One, we're going to go down to the $10 level. So $10 per bet, $10 per press, which is more bankroll respectful. I'm also going to, on Waylon's behest, work the come out. Also, Waylon does not reset the bets to 0 on the 7. Now, I ran this last night with $10 bets, working the come out, and not resetting my bets with $2,000. I went bankrupt 4 times in a row. Never got a profit, went right down to the shitter. We'll see if this works today. I don't know that $2,000 is enough money. I think that this is the wrong strategy for our bankroll. I'm going to try it again today. I'm going to play side by side with it the permanent press, which I think is properly bankroll size. We'll play permanent press here. We're going to play the mind here. The permanent press will be at 110 inside, and it's going to be, you'll see, half presses across the inside, across the bets. It's going to be kind of a no-brainer strategy, but I think it only ever goes out at 110 ever from your rack. So we have 20 chances at it. The mind only gets 4 chances at it. Even at $10, you can get burned pretty quick. So I think we're out over our skis with this one. If today doesn't work, we're going to scrap it and hold the mind back until we're at a $5,000 bankroll. When we get to the $5,000 bankrolls, we can play the mind, we can play the unicorn, we can play the red cross, the ones that require $500 per shooter. We can do that at 5,000. I cannot do it at 2,000. And at $2,000 with $10 bets, it just takes too freaking long to win. You need to win, 10, 15 times to get your paycheck out of it. It just takes there's too much has to go right. And I haven't been able to make it work with $10. So we're going to try it today one more time. And if we decide that it's just not right, it's not right. So yesterday was a mulligan. Today, I'm pre-announcing mulligan today. We're not going to take any paycheck out of it. We're just going to play it as let's play it for an hour and see what happens. That's going to be today's plan. So I was talking to JB, Myopia Movie, offline last night about this. He was giving me a bunch of grief. Like, oh, when you lose, you're not going to count it, right? Like, no, I sensed going in that we were completely wrong on this one. And I proved it. We were like, the bankroll went all the way down, like in no time, and it battled back way too fast. Like it was way too easy to win the 1,000, way too easy to lose 1,000. That's no way to be playing for a paycheck at $2,000. So I think I screwed it up. So today's going to be another research day on this thing. We'll just roll it out that way to get a lot, right? Working the come out, right, is the thing. However, as you're going to find out today, working the come out is wickedly, wickedly, wickedly dangerous. And it's the reason why I've gone bankrupt in this thing, unless you put a rule on it. And I know that Ken from Ken Knows Gambling and Waylon both don't like my changes. My changes were on a 7, go back to base. My changes were on a 7, don't work the come out. Reasons for that. Again, bankroll decision. Number 1, the come out 7, as you're about to see on open place bets. If you're going to keep replacing them, will destroy you. It'll destroy you. Trust me. Especially if you're going to go, okay, we lost at 44 inside. Come out 7. Let's go to 88. Come out 7. Let's go to 110. Come out 7. Let's go to 132. Before you know it, you're out of your rack $600 and haven't had a point yet. The come out 7 is so dangerous. So I worry about it. Unless you're going to put a rule of it can beat me one time, but I'm not going to take multiple punches in the face. I'm not going to let the come out 7 beat me more than once because it can go on a run. And what happens is when the come out 7s happen in series like that, which they do, especially when I throw, I've had 2, 3, 4, 6 in a row before. Bye-bye bankroll. And we got to be careful about that. So we'll do it that way today so you can see how it works out. But I really believe that we're not funded well enough to play this one. So we may have to just switch out. So yeah, you're the one shooting. He says, yeah. I asked you, wait, I said, do you want me to have both balls out and work the come out? You said, yeah, fuck it, work the come out, right? Ken was like, you got to work the come out. Ken gave me a bunch of shit last night. You got to work the come out. I'm like, well, I know that's how the original Mind was filmed when you did it, Waylon, but I don't think we have enough money to do it. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not in my head. I don't want to work the come out. I don't want to do it. Ken thinks I have to work the come out to be honest to your strategy. So your strategy is work the come out, go up, and keep playing on the 7s. Those things at $2,000, boy, it makes me nervous. We'll try it today. We'll see how I'm going to put it out there, give it up. And if the $10 bets aren't enough to cover, then I think we hold this thing back until we get to $5,000, and we'll do it the right way at the right level. I think my level is I think we're just here. I think we're just too down low, and to play it, quote unquote, the legit right way, I'm underfunded. So we may have to just switch the strategy. We may have to switch it up. One of you did, Ken, you or Waylon. Waylon told me to work the come out when I asked him, point out, what should I do? Everybody else is saying, watch the video, work the come out. Jen even said, I think working the come out is too dangerous. I really do. It worries me. So let's actually work the come out. Yeah, you could roll. You go up after points established. We can do that too. Again, all the ways are possible. I can go up after a point gets established too. But again, with $10 bets, I still fear $2,000 is not enough. Like I know Waylon, you're always on the make sure you got the right bankroll to play these things, and you preach that all the time. I don't think 2K is enough. I just don't. I think I jumped the gun and went to this one too quick. I do. I think I should have held this one back until we had at least 5K. So we'll try it and we'll see. We're going to run it out today as legit as I can run it out, and we'll give it a shot. But if we have trouble today again, I'm gonna pull it down and save it until we have more bankroll to survive it. I think we're not able to survive with our bankroll. So that's my mistake. My mistake going out too early. I think I went out too quick. But if you're there and you want to coach me through it, I'm happy to be coached in chat live. We'll go ahead and do it that way. So all right, let's move ahead. We're going to come out. This comes up all the time, and we're talking about it now. I think 5K is enough for $25 bets, Jen. So when I go to 5K, it's $25 bets, not black chip bets. I think that's the level. Because at 5K, let me go back a screen. At 5K, right, at $100 bets, if you go up to level 5, that's going to be 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500 bucks. If you get to level 5, it's 2,500 bucks out there. It's too much at $5,000. The same problem would happen here. At 5,000 with $25 bets, at worst, you're at 500 bucks to get to level 5, right? Which is my personal ceiling is level 5, right? At worst, you're 500 bucks out of your bankroll, which gives you 10 cracks at it, right? Here at 25 bucks, we only have 4 cracks at it. That's the problem with $2,000 bankroll, $25 bets. I have 4 shots at it, right? At 5,000 with 25 bucks, you got 10 shots at it. At 2,000 bucks with $10 bets, I've got 6 to 8 shots at it. So we'll see again if that works out. That's the reason why I think we're not where we want to be, and I don't think that $10 flats is enough, or $10 bets is enough to win us paycheck. We'll try it today. I may be pleasantly surprised, but whatever happens today, regardless, we're going to call it I'm calling it a mulligan now. We're not going to count the win or the loss. I just want to see what the level does. All right, let's get back to the topic of the day, which is working the come out. And this comes up a lot. Should you work the come out? The reasons why to work the come out are what Jen is saying, what Waylon has said to me before. It's just a roll. Come out is no different than any other roll, right? The 7 still comes 1 out of every 6 times. The probability does not change. And on the come out, if you have working place bets, you hit a place bet on the come out. If you're not working, you don't get paid for it, right? Let's say you got 64 across off on the come out, you roll a 6 or something, point goes to 6, you didn't get paid. And I've shown you many times in these monster roll breakdowns, like, oh crap, shooter rolled a 6, didn't get paid on it, right? So all those getting the point set columns, you get 0 money for that, which sucks. I'd like to get paid on those somehow. And the problem is that with those wasted rolls, you're sucked into this idea of I should be working the come out. But the problem is on the come out roll, as you all know, even the new players hopefully know this, the 7, when the puck is off, can roll 7 times in a row. Okay, because it's a pass line winner, right? You can win on the 7 when the puck is off. If you have place bets working when the puck is off and you roll a 7, of course they lose. If you put them back and roll another 7, they lose again. You put them back, another 7, they lose again. It's the one time in the game where you can get beat 5-6 rolls in a row. Bam, 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 bam. And lose all your money on you can lose an entire bankroll in 4 or 5 rolls by working the come out. That's the reason why you shouldn't do it, because consecutive 7s will get you. I've told you before, your rolls that are exposed to the 7, that lose to a 7, will lose 1 out of every 6 times they're rolled, which is very true. The come out doesn't change that, right? However, because of the nature and rhythm of that roll, the fact that a shooter can roll multiple 7s back to back to back to back and still keep the dice, that's where you get hammered on. So you have to have rules in place. You have to say, I'll work my bets on the come out, but just once. If I get a 7 and I lose them, I'm not going to put them back till the point's up. That's the thing. I think that's the rule that I would put in place. I'm not going to let that come out 7 destroy me multiple rolls in a row. Now, if you want to get some other stuff, you can hop and protect ways up. There's ways to do that to kind of get past the roll. But for sure, I think having some kind of a rule in place makes that sense. Does the pass line give you an edge? Is the question that comes up too. 7s can be nullified by the pass line. You know the pass line wins on a 7, which means you can have other bets going that you know the 7 can nullify. Okay, that 7 can nullify other bets and take care of the loss for you. As an example, $12 6, $12 8, working on the come out with a $25 pass line bet. Okay, let's take that example. If you roll a 7, you win 25, you lose 24, you win $1, you're okay. Clean and clear, you're all good. Okay, if you roll a 6, you get paid on the 6, 14. You have a pass line bet, you pull the 6 down. Now you got a bet on the pass line that acts like you pressed the bet up. Okay, there's this kind of give and take, this kind of edge you could feel with the come out. But I'm going to show you here in a minute, that is a dangerous is the wrong word. That is it's a placebo effect. It's going to hurt you, I think, in the long run to do that. So let me show you what I mean by that. And I ran a little spreadsheet here to kind of give you a sense of what it means to work the come out or not work the come out with the pass line involved. Let me just show you this, because this is what comes up a lot in these discussions. I just want to give you a quick example. So let me change my screen. Let's go here. Hang on a second. I got to get that opened up. Whoa, that's tiny. Oh my God. Let me go here. Let me go to the box bets, and I'm going to zoom way in for you. Maybe one more zoom can I get? There we go. One more zoom in. All right, let's take a look at this little tiny spreadsheet that I made, which I think speaks to what we're talking about here, which is what would happen if, make this a little bit bigger. Let's go like that. There we go. That might help a little bit. Man, my scrolling is not great here on this thing. There we go. All right. Let's look at like the expert. And what I've got here is three columns. Okay. One column is only playing the pass line. Okay. One column is only playing the box. And one column is playing the pass line with the box. You can see there's some differences here, right? You play the pass line only. Let's take a $25 pass line bet. Okay. Your bet is $25. It pays $25. On the pass line, you get paid on all the come out 7s, $150. 6 times you win, $25. You win $150. Your box bets are off. You win nothing on the box, and you end up being up $150 on the come out 7s. Now, I'm not talking about the horn numbers. I'm just talking about the come out 7s only, which is what this discussion is about. right? There's more wins to be had on the 11s, losses on the craps numbers. I want to just talk about the come out 7s. On the 6 of them, you would win 150. Now, if you ran only the box numbers, no come out 7 protection at all, none. Where you would lose is this. You would lose 384 because you would lose 3 times, you would lose $10 on the 4. 4 times you'd lose $10 on the 5. 5 times you would lose, or I'm sorry, you'd win. Sorry, win 3 times on the 4. You'd win 4 times on the 5. You'd win 5 times on the 6. Whatever. All these wins over here are what you would win if you played 64 across. And that's the level that I've got. 64 across. All those bets would win. However, if you work the come out, you're going to lose those bets 6 times for 384. You're net down $24 if you only play the box numbers and let them work all the time. If you never turn the box numbers off, no pass line bet, you end up being down. You win a bunch on the box, but you lose a bunch on the come out 7s, and you end up losing, being down $24. Okay, that's the net effect of, again, when looking at random dice, how that works out. So you end up losing $24 if you're betting 64 across and having them work. Now I can change these numbers, and I will. I'll change them here in a minute, for sure. Now, if I take this pass line bet, you're right, Corey. If I take this here, and I say let's bet instead of 25, let's bet this at $65 on the pass line. Okay, we can bet $65 that pays $65. And how does it change? Well, if you bet only the pass line, you win $390. If you're doing box bets only, you still lose on no pass line. You still win what you win. And again, $65 covers your 64 across. Let's do it like that. Pass line plus the box. Here's the thing. If you're betting the pass line, you're going to win $65 6 times. Okay? But you're going to lose the $64 all those same 6 times. Your net from the pass line is $6. So you're going to win $390. You're going to lose $384 in the box. You're going to net $6 off the pass line. The pass line becomes a nullifier to your box bets. Then the box bets pay as they would. Your net is you'd be up 366 because the box bet wins are clean. Your pass line bets are taken care of by, or the losses are taken care of by the pass line. But look, you're still down. Pass line only in this circumstance wins 390. Pass line plus the box bets wins 366. So you're light about $25. Okay, even working the pass line with all the box numbers working, you're down. And again, you can alter these things. So let's do a $25 pass line bet, and we'll do nothing on the 4, just the 6 and 8. So just the 6 and 8, right? $14 or $12 on the 6 and 8, $25 on the pass line. Again, the pass line wins 150. The pass line nets -6. You win 146. So you're down $4 over what you would have been had you just worked the pass line. Okay. If you're working the box, you're getting beat by $4. Okay. You're going to lose the box enough times to lose 144. You're going to win the box enough to win 140. You're upside down $4. So there's no advantage to working your box bets with the puck off, right? With the puck off and with a pass line bet, again, you get no advantage. You're actually more upside down than you would be, right? Than working just the pass line by itself. Now, of course, this doesn't take into account the 11s and the craps, but I'm just saying, just based on 7s alone, the net effect is a $4 difference. It's not worth it to work the box. Not worth it to work the box during the pass line, especially when these can come. And again, this is a pure random distribution over here. Those numbers could come, the 6 could come back to back to back to back to back, and you never get to these hits here, right? Sometimes rhythm of the table matters too. So that's what it looks like legitimately to work the box with and without a pass line bet. It just, the way of the world. I can't make it any more clear than this. There's no advantage to working your bets on the come out roll. You end up being upside down just a small bit, but upside down versus working them with the pass line. So that's just the way that it is. And I'm sorry that that's not the news people want to hear. And here we go. Let's go here. I'm going to actually, whoa, not that. I need to go and do this. I'm going to try and get, let's see. Can you see that? Okay, let's go here. I'm gonna run some WinCraps sims for you. So for the new people in the room, WinCraps is a simple little tool that we can use to simulate gameplay. And what I'm gonna show you here is I'm gonna have a bunch of people here working, okay? I've got a pass line with the box numbers working. I got a pass line only and a box working only. So 3 players that are gonna work the pass line only, the box only, and the pass line with the box working. I'm gonna show you their scripts and we're gonna get them set up here. I'm gonna run them out. All right, here we go. I'm gonna turn the other 2 players off for a minute. So the come players are gonna be off. The pass line with the box working, he's gonna bet $10 on the pass line and $12, this will round up, $12 on the 6 and 8. He's gonna work his place bets all the time. When we get a point, calls the bets off. This is gonna be just a $25 pass line and a $12 6 and 8. You're essentially hedged there, okay? The pass line only player is gonna work just a $10 pass line bet. And the box working guy is gonna work just a 6 and 8 working. And that's all he's gonna do. So one player is gonna work 6 and 8 only. One player is gonna work 6 and 8, that's this guy here, the box working. This guy's gonna work the pass line only, and this guy's gonna work all of it, all the time. I'm gonna reset the board, a new game. Whoops, let's get this over here. I'm not gonna save the other random scripts. Oh shit, that thing's in the way. Sorry, it's gonna be over here for some reason. No. All right, and then you'll see here, rewind and play back the dice roll file. I'm gonna say okay to that. I'm gonna show you something, the action, dice roll files. The dice rolls that I'm using for this, oh God, sorry, I gotta move this out of the way. The dice rolls that I'm using is a 3000 roll file, which you may be interested to know are these. They are exactly my files. So those 3014 rolls are these 3014 rolls. This is my daily paycheck rolls. I actually exported out every roll from the 3 months of daily paycheck so far into one file. WinCraps has that file now. So here is my actual dice rolls from the daily paycheck shows against these strategies. Ready to run them? We're gonna start at roll 0. We're just gonna run it out and let's see how these guys do. I'm gonna go, let's see, statistics, we'll go bankroll. I'll show you the results here. This player will be there. Let's do a new window here. And another new one over here. All right, here we're gonna be pass line only. Here we're going to be box only. And here we're gonna be both pass line and box. Ready? Let's see what happens. Boom, we're gonna start them up, let them roll out, and we're at 0. Somebody went to 0. Who do you think went to 0 first? Right, I'll give you a guess. Who went to 0 first? I can tell you already who went to 0 first. The guy that was working the box without the pass line went to 0 first, okay? And as you recall, working the box without the pass line was a little bit below the pass line only in the chart that I did in the Excel spreadsheet. He went to 0 in 1,500 rolls, all right? Which is half the rolls we had, okay? So he went to 0. At best, he made 120 bucks. At one point, he made 120, again, just working the box. That's it. So he made 120 at his best point, but he lost all his money. The pass line only player won 160 bucks, but he's still playing. He's got $1,000 in the rack right now. Okay, so he went to 0, pass line only, 1,000 bucks in the rack. The guy that worked them both is half his money, or he's down to 478. So he's at 0, he's at 400, he's at about 1,200. You can see that, and that pattern works on all of them, right? The guy working the box goes to 0 first. The guy working everything goes to 0 second at half the speed. And the guy working just the pass line goes to 0 third at 2/3 the speed, which is what you see. It's always 0, 400, and 1,200. And I can do this on random as well. You get the exact same result. Let me actually start new. Give me a new game. Game new. I'm not going to save anything. And we're going to say no. We're going to continue playback as is. Let's run it again. This is just random roll this time. We're going to go, let's see, this guy, and this guy, and just run it until somebody hits 0 and see what happens. And it should be the guy at the bottom. Oh, let's see, who went to 0 first? Oh, the dice roll file got ended. What? No, that was the same rolls. Hold on. Game new. Sorry, I ran the wrong set of rolls. Let's go. Try it again. One more run, pure random. Lasting way longer this time. Look at this. All right, here we go. What happened? The box only guy goes to 0 first. Never made any money. Look at his high. He started with the grand. He never made a dime. That's great. The guy pass line with everything working. Everything working. He went to $46, and the other guy went down to $7.40. So the pass line only player won. This tells me in this run. What does this tell you in this run? You see when you see these results where the guy working the box, the guy working everything went to 0 and $46, and the pass line player won. He's still at 740. Ton of come out. This is a good example of a ton of come out sevens. Clearly, the pass line player banked on the come out sevens. Even so, only made $40. Let's do one more run, and then I'm going to go roll dice. I'm going to do another. Let's do a game new, and we'll do one more time at it. We're not going to save anything. No, not going to save it. We're going to continue inactive, and let's do one more rando roll, and go. And we'll see. We'll see that it's always the same. It always ends up being pretty much the same result. Look how long they're going. 5,000 rolls. 5,000 rolls. Wow. It's actually a little different here. Look at this. The guy working the box making money. He's making money. Oh, he went down to $50 at one point. Look at this. 18,000 rolls. Who went to 0 first? Ooh, the pass line guy went to 0 first. Look at that last run at the end there. Again, he probably got crushed by some come out horns. This time, though, they all went 18,000 rolls. That's fantastic. Look at that. RNGs for the win, right? Who made the most money here? The pass line guy didn't make anything. He made $300. The everything working guy made $650. The box only guy made about the same money. He was done at $24. He was one roll away from being bankrupt at one point in there. Way back, you saw that happen. So there it is. There's the let's close WinCraps out. No. Oh crap, what happened? I think, did it go away? Are we back? Can you see me? Hello? Hey. All right, that's an easy little example, right? A little WinCraps show. I think it's fun to pull out the rolls that I actually rolled as the primary example. Most of the time, what you see is you work everything without the pass line, right? That player and the pass line player are the closest in proximity, right? Because you're not getting the come out wins, but you're getting all the point wins. So all the points getting sets winning without getting the come out losses, that's almost a perfect hedge. But you can see it's like a slight, with $6 or $30 difference, depending on how big your bets were. The pass line only guy always wins it out, right? Working the pass line only is the best way to play the come out, or bypass it altogether. Bypass it altogether and just play the box numbers. It's the way. Ken Brown, is this John? This is John. All right. Victor, of course, doesn't agree with the flaw in the analysis. I remember the reset, a travel. No, so what I did was this. We turned everything off. So what I did, Victor, was if the pass line gets set to the number stays. I rebet the number. So let's say that you have come out is a 6. If you have a pass line bet, I pull the bets down and I leave the pass line bet sitting there. For the player that didn't have a pass line bet, if it was a come out 6, I just took the 8 down, left the 6 up. I left the place point. So everything was the only bets you had were on the point. So that was exactly how I ran that thing. I didn't show you the scripts, but that's how it was written. I did take that case into account, so don't worry about that. You do, Dusted. And if you don't believe me, you got to go back to the drawing board, right? If you've been to the casino 100 times in your life or 50 times in your life, you've played 3,000 rolls, 55 hours. That's the way it works. Your life is that session, right? Those 3,000 rolls that I showed you from Daily Paycheck, that is me for an hour every day for 3 months. That is, your life is one continuous session. It just is. It just is. So looking at the rolls against the actual rolls that I threw as one continuous session is the way that it is. Just because I bought in for 1,500 today and 1,500 the next day doesn't change the fact that I still saw the same set of rolls. those set of rolls that I ran in WinCraps there, I did not reset the bankroll, right? I can simulate that resetting the bankroll every time you make your win goal or loss limit. We can reset it and simulate actual gameplay. That's just giving you a sense of what the law of big numbers looks like. So that's why I do this. I do the simulations two ways. One with a paycheck, one with the law of big numbers. Today was just a continuous run. But again, it shows you how the dice end up being in those sets of rolls where you're effectively random in terms of the number of 6s or 7s that you see. That's why I do that. So I think it's an important case to see kind of how that works. All right. Now, let's go to the table. We have 50 minutes. I have 10 minutes to go. I don't have time to get to the table. I was going to roll some of that today. We can do it. I'm going to roll for like 5 minutes. I can't not roll on the morning show, right? Let's go roll some dice. Let's put a couple players up there. Let's just do it. Let's just get a sense of how it feels. I'm going to put, let's just do $200. Two simple little $200 bankrolls. $25 here for that guy and $200 here. Guy in the front, pass line only. Guy in the back there is going to do pass line, so we'll do this guy on the left, this guy on the right. They're both going to work the pass line. This guy's also going to work the 6 and the 8. With a penny change, okay? And again, we're going to do what we said. We're going to do basically working the come out all the time. So 7s will net this guy $1. I'll put a buck in his rack on a 7 because we're going to lose 24 and win 25. As that happens, as the points get set, we'll leave the bets as is. Here we go. 4, 2, 6. So that's a good case. So we're going to get the points set. We're going to get $14 and take these bets down. Actually, I'll leave them up here and we'll turn them off. They'll be off. So again, the purpose of that was to work the come out. I'll put his money here. Was to work the come out using this to make sure that we got these bets through. You're basically hedging the 7 against that. The end of this result here, now both players have the same bet. So if we catch a 7 out now, the difference is going to be he will lose the quarter, right? This guy here will still lose that quarter, but he had won that $1 on the way out. So the net effect of that to his bankroll, we'll take a look. There's a 6 actually. Both guys win. Not a great example. They both win a quarter. Starting bankroll's back intact. This guy over here has his, there is 100. Here's 175. That's his starting bankroll. Both players have their starting bankroll in their rack. They both have a bet out here. This guy's got a little advantage because he won on that come out. Here we go. 4. Those were on. Now what's going to happen is this. Now that they're off. Shit, this guy had to be back on the pass line. Now that we're through, these bets stay hot. Okay, they're going to stay hot. 7 out. So the effect of this one here is this. The guy that worked just the pass line loses $25. The guy that worked the pass line and the numbers loses all of it. You see that? It's a double whammy. Not a big deal, right? Now we could have said these are just off, right? But the point was to play the 6 and the 8 with the pass line bet. The other guy's playing just the 4. He could also place the 6 and 8 afterwards and just bypass the come out rule. We can simulate that a number of ways. Let's actually simulate it that way. I'm going to reset their banks. There's 8. There's 8. Let's do it like that. Let's have both players do this. We're going to go. Give me a second to get this set up here, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Probably a truer to life example of how this would actually work. So the guy in the back, we'll make the guy in the front, him, obviously, front, back, back. They're both going to have, here's their quarter that covers those bets. They each get a buck change. They each have a pass line bet. So they should each have 6 chips in the rack, 7 chips, 8 chips. The difference will be this guy's working the come out, this guy's not. That's going to be our only difference. We'll leave everything else the exact same. The bets law stay up. If we catch a 6 or 8 as a point, we'll pull that one down. That's going to be the only difference. Let's do another quick run. There's a 9. No advantage to either player. So in this case here, nothing happens. They're both in the exact same spot. So whatever happens from this point forward doesn't matter. Let's turn the puck off and do it again. I want you to get a sense of what happens when an interesting number happens. The 9 doesn't matter. We'll pretend we 7'd out. Here's 1. Here's an 8. So what happens in this case when the point goes to the 8? Okay, this guy here got nothing out of it, right? He can pull his 8 down. The guy in the front gets paid 14 bucks and pulls his 8 down. We'll put the 8 alone as off. So both players end up having the same experience in terms of they both have a pass line bet now on the 8. They both have a bet on the 6 for 12 bucks. The difference is the guy that worked got paid as the point got set. He's actually in a small advantage right now because of that one little win right there. I can leave the other guy's bets out here and off. We can just put his 8 bet as off just to keep them on the table. And again, whatever happens from this point forward, both players will be in the exact same spot. It doesn't really matter. No advantage to either player other than he got paid on the way out. And there's the 8. They both get paid a quarter. And everybody's happy. Puck is off. And again, guy in the front is working. Guy in the back is off for this next come out roll. We catch a 7. It'll be different. There it is. I couldn't have called it any better. 5, 2, 7. So what happens here is this. They both win a quarter, but this guy loses these bets up here for 24 bucks. He'd have to take his quarter and say, replace my bets, please, and he would get $1 change for that. So there's your difference on the come out 7. He wins 25 bucks. He wins 1. So on the roll previous to that, when we set the point of 8, he won 14 bucks on the way out, where this guy didn't. This time with a come out 7, he wins 25, he wins 1. And there is the big difference on the come out. Now again, I could roll another come out 7 here, and that problem gets worse, right? If I don't roll it, we'll simulate it. There's a 6 actually, but what if that was a 7? Okay. In this case, this is interesting. The 6 here wins 14 bucks, right? So in 2 rolls, he had won, let's put his 14 bucks out there, right? Twice he won 14 bucks. That's $28. Once he lost $24, right? So he lost 24 once, he won 14 twice. His net is minus $1. Isn't that interesting? Right? He won twice, lost once, lost 25, won 28. Right? He's a tiny difference in the net right there. But if that was a 7 on that come out, he could have been really upside down. He would have won another $1 versus another 25, and he's really down because you can get the multiples, right? I'm not rolling them here, obviously, but that's what could happen. I think it's interesting. Working the come outs over and over again scares me a little bit. And that's why I caution against it, because you can get more than one in a row. Here's a good case, though, a really good example of twice winning on it, $28, once losing on it. So his net there is $4 to the good. This guy's net was 50 bucks to the good. It's a huge difference, right? 2 come out winners down here for him, 50 bucks. Here he's net up $4, right? It's a major difference. So quick visual on it, what it looks like, but that's, again, working the come out to me is not the way, man. It's not the way. I think there's too much that can happen. Too much can happen. Too much can happen in a row. Not light again. Too much can happen back to back to back to back. When I run the analysis, by the way, of come bettors working the come out with their odds, interestingly enough, the odds should be working on the come out. Those players end up they do go to 0 a little quicker, but they win so much more profit. Like their profits, their profit peaks are so much higher by working the odds on the come out. That's a better play almost all the time for the come bettors. So, And I can't show you that because I closed the app, but I can show it to you later. All right, let's go to questions and answers and see if there's anything else that I need to address here. PCs, what do we have here? Oh, and Senior, welcome. You're welcome. I wish there was an advantage play. I just wish there was. We're all trying to teach all the things, right? I tend to get more into the mechanics of the game versus strategy. Like Waylon is a great strategist. Color Up will show you a lot of strategies. A lot of guys out there trying different things out. I'm not a strategist. Like I don't come up with strategies. I believe in what we call law of big numbers, right? I believe the math is going to do what it's going to do. Just like Baccarat, over time, you know that banker wins that much more than player. You know that that's going to happen. You also know Baccarat's very streaky. Craps can be very streaky too. And I'm a big believer in catching those streaks. When they happen, I bet them differently. And I think a lot of guys like Blacklight, you'll see giving me shit in chat here about trending. I don't believe in trends, but I do believe in streaks. And to me, there's a big difference in that. That's where I think players who win money in craps can capitalize when the same thing is happening a few times in a row, or dodge it when it's happening a few times in a row. So there we go. Let's see what else is going on here. Let's see. Yeah, you're saying, and that's a good point, Corey, actually. If I go back to here, give me a second to go to the spreadsheet. If we go to the spreadsheet again, right, and we alter this stuff, and we say, instead of having this, you can have the pass line be at 10, right? And now the 6 and 8 win a little more, right? The difference is subtle, right? You lose a little bit less, you win a little bit more, and your net's a little bit higher, right? There's ways to alter bet sizing on the pass line to make things to make things different. Let's go 25 versus 10, right? The difference is when you change the bet sizing, you can alter the math a little bit by getting in there. And the ATS is the same thing. When you play the ATS, you can alter how big your ATS plays are versus how much your pass line bet is and get different scenarios that work better for you. But again, when I do these kind of analyses, I do them at the baseline as best I can, right? Where the bets are properly hedged off the math way, and make sure that you can see if all things being equal, what would actually happen, right? And that's it. So, okay, let's see. PC, what did we learn today, John? Well, we learned a lot of things. We learned that John's playing the mind kind of incorrectly, and I think we will get to the mind here in a little bit at a different level, but I still think no matter what, we're way underfunded. I think the mind at my $2,000 bankroll is not going to be enough money to win. I just think we're having a problem. Dustin asked me, is there a strategy I would feel comfortable with the $5,000 bankroll? Yeah, there are. I would play the red cross, which requires $500 to get out, right? The way that the bets lay out, it's $500. That one I would do. The mind at $25 chips, I would do at $5,000 bankroll. The permanent press at 25, 25, 20, I would do that one at a $5,000 bankroll. There are definitely things that I would do where I feel like the bankroll's got my back a little bit. Whereas with and actually $5,000 3-point Molly, $25 with max odds, right? We did the 3-point Molly, $25 with 2x odds because our bankroll was so small, we couldn't afford max odds on the bets. The best you could do is a $25 flat and $50 on the caps. With 5,000, you can do $25 and actual 3, 4, 5x odds, or if you wanted to, 10x odds. I can go $250 per bet and really destroy the table on max odds, but you can't do max odds with a small bankroll. So the $5,000 gives you wiggle room to take bigger swings at things and also protect yourself if things go bad. You can ride things out a little bit better, right? With $5,000, I can lower the bet to 25 and 1x and ride the storm out a little bit. If a $2,000 bankroll, if I did that, that storm would still bury me. Right? You've got to be cognizant of your bet sizing with regards to your bankroll. So yeah, at $5,000, there's things like, for example, Skill and Luck's unicorn strategy. You need like a $600 lay 9 to get out of the gate. You can't do that with a small bankroll. That could never survive that strategy. But there are things that you can do more aggressively. And again, at the $5,000 level, you're betting black chips most of the time. So your wins, 4 or 5 wins and you're out. get out of there quick with the bigger unit sizes, but you got to have the bankroll to back the unit size. I think that's a big thing. So, what else? You say I need enough for 10 shooters. Now I need more than that. Well, yeah, you're right in some respects, right? With the mind, the way I did yesterday, again, $25 flats and $25 which is $100, right? With $100 presses, I only have 4 cracks at it. That's not enough to get anywhere. $10 flats with the presses up, I can get almost 10 shots at it. It's not even quite 10 shots. So I'm not even there. And that's why I said at the $5,000 level, you get more cracks at it. I'd rather have more cracks at it, frankly. I think that the permanent press at 110 with $2,000 bankroll gets me 20 cracks at it. I like that even better because it can take a while to see that hot roll, and that hot roll and that strategy can really bank it up. So yeah, I'm not trying to move the goalpost. I'm just trying to say what makes me feel safe is that. So Dusted One wants I'm getting fresh ink for craft. I will probably get some ink when I'm there. I'm arriving in town Thursday, ahead of Crafts for the Cure. I'm actually getting fresh ink on December 7th. So right after Crafts for the Cure, I'm going to be going to Salt Lake and I'm getting the sleeve over here finished up. The whole thing is because all in here is not done. This is all going to get done in December. I may get the partner to the cross on this arm for Crafts for the Cure. I may. I haven't decided yet. If I do, I've got this really cool idea to have. I really want to get like around on my clean arm here, around this area. I want to get the don't pass bar 12 around in here, like and around, or yeah, on this side over here. So around like my elbow. If I get it, I'll get that. Yeah, we'll see. It's going to come down to money and time, right? Those tattoos are, they're 6-hour sessions and they cost money, and I'd rather be at the table with y'all. Dust, are you coming, by the way? And I forget. Adam, are you coming? I forgot. Let me know. Jay, are you coming? I think Jay, you live there, right? You're going to be there for sure. Let me know who's coming. I want to know who I get to meet in person for Crafts for the Cure. All right, 9:06, guys. I'm out. Let me go make some coffee. I'll go upstairs and make coffee. We're going to run to the garage. I'm going to play this rollout today 2 ways. We're going to do permanent press and a $10 mind and see if the mind with going up after the 7 and coming out again after the 7 works better. I'm not going to work the come outs. I mean, Ken and Waylon both gave me grief in chat today. I won't work the come out, but I will work this at the top end level following 7s. We'll try that and see how it goes with $10. I still think we're underfunded, but let's go see. All right. Thanks all. And you all have a great day. I will see you in about 10 minutes out there. And with that said, God bless. Bye.